Okay, here we are at the finale here of season 2. So we start off with Homelander. He's in this school and they're talking about like school shootings, but instead it's if a supervillain attacks a school, what you should do and all this. It's pretty funny. Butcher's wife, on last episode, lost out on her deal because Stormfront and Homelander took off with their kids, so she's running for her life to get the hell out of there. So Butcher's plan, after everybody's head exploded at the courthouse, is we're just gonna go find wherever Homelander and them are, and we're just gonna try to kill them. And he was like, "That's your plan?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then Kamiko's walking through with an RPG. So Huey and Starlight go to Maeve's house, and she's just this bitter bitch, and she's angry about her girlfriend and everything, and frustrated that nothing ever happens. And her and Starlight get into this fight, and then Starlight's like, "Oh, you should help us and do all this." And Maeve's just like, "Haven't I done enough for you? And why don't you take your cuck and get out of here?" And oh, she calls him a twink. That's what she calls Huey, as a twink. So they just leave her alone, and Maeve's just sitting there in her bitterness, smoking her butt off. So Butcher's wife finds where he's at here, and she's telling him that they took off with the kid, and Homelander and her got the kid, and they left her for dead, and all this. And so the Scientologist guy and the Vought guy here apparently have some sort of a connection or a deal going on, and he's trying to negotiate to get A-Train back into the fold with the Seven. And the CIA guy is, well, the CIA guy, the Vought guy is like, "Well, I don't know, he's got heart issues, and we'll see what we can do," and all this. And so Homelander takes his kid to what would be described as Vought's version of Disneyland, where it's like a superhero theme park or something, and him and Stormfront are at this table, and they're trying to have a nice family lunch, and then all these people start coming up, and they're just like, "Oh, can we have your autograph?" and all of this. And it's like everybody in the whole place is like hounding them, and the kid gets freaked out, and he's like, "Oh, there's too many people here, and I'm having a panic attack," or what the hell, I don't know. Like, the kid just freaks out, so Homelander just takes the kid and flies away. A-Train finds Starlight and Huey here, and he took this file from the Scientology people that they had on Stormfront, and he gives it to Starlight, and Starlight's looking at it, and basically what this folder is showing is just that Stormfront, like, they have pictures of her with Hitler and all this Nazi stuff. It's like just a gold mine of proof, and they're asking A-Train, they're like, "Why would you give us this? What are you doing? Why are you helping us?" And he's like, "Well, I want to get rid of that Nazi bitch, and I'm tired of her, and we need to get rid of her, and all this. Consider us even for saving my life." And they're like, "Okay." Then he just takes off. So Butcher and the Vought guy make a deal to try to kidnap Homelander's son to have leverage on him. And the Vought guy agrees. I was kind of surprised a little bit, but he agreed to do it with Butcher, and they're both bastards, I guess, because he calls the Vought guy a devious bastard or something. So Homelander is at some cabin, and Stormfront's there, and Homelander is trying to console his son and tell him that he used to be scared too, and he used to cry and do all these things just like he did, but at least he's got him to help him. And Homelander's like, I didn't have anybody to help me, and all of this, and it's like this little, we're a family moment, look at us, and all this. And so here we are outside the cabin, and they're setting up this trap to lure Homelander away from the kid with this sonic vibration thing or whatever that ends up hurting people's ears. So Starlight released she released the photos and files to the news, and here you can see she's sitting with Hitler at some dinner, and Stormfront Nazi pictures leaked, and they're just laughing at it. And they got some meme somebody made where it's showing Stormfront where she's like walking down the street in Germany and a car runs over her or something, and they're saying, Stormfront, Stormfront, Nazi star, hope you get hit by a car or something. So here we go with the subversion, or trying to lure Homelander out of the house with the loud noise thing. So Homelander takes off and he goes to see what the noise is, and while he's out looking for this noise, the Butcher and Rebecca get in the house, and they get the kid back and get him out. Here we are with Homelander, and he finally figures out what's making all this noise, and he sees it's a bunch of like Vought beatbox things or something, and he just blows them up. So he comes back to the house, and these guys are running around, and they're asking Butcher if he's there, and where are you, Butcher? And Homelander comes in, and he's like, why are you guys trying to talk to the Butcher? What's going on here? And they won't answer him, so he's getting angry, and he's telling them, where's my son? And you better give me my son now, and all this. And he just slices this guy in half with his laser sight thing, or his laser eyes. And they don't answer him. They just were like scared, and they had their guns aimed at him. So the Butcher tries to send Mother's Milk and Becca and the kid away, trying to get them out of this mess, and Stormfront cuts them off, and as you can see, she shoots the car up in the air and is like just electrifying the hell out of it, and it crashes. Butcher runs over there and gets the kid and her, and Mother's Milk's like, just run for your lives, take your family, get out of here, we're gonna fight this, just take them and go and get out of here. So Butcher and the family, they start running off. So Stormfront turns around and she sees Starlight and Kimiko and them, and Kimiko doesn't freeze up this time. She actually fights her, and Stormfront snaps her neck, but Kimiko magically, I guess that's her power, is like, she's like Wolverine without the claws, I guess. She just regenerates and comes back to life after she snapped her neck. And next we have a three-way fight against Stormfront, and Maeve shows up. And this really took away from Kimiko's story, because this whole season Kimiko has been terrified of Stormfront, and she's just, I guess PTSD is what you would call it, like a light form of it, not like what I have, just like a, she freezes up whenever she's like around her or whatever. Well, she didn't freeze up this time, but when you have Maeve come in, and Starlight was already there, I guess, but you have Maeve come in to help out, it just took away from Kimiko's whole story this season. Because the whole thing is like building up for Kimiko to have this fight with her, and she has like a 2-minute fight, and Stormfront snaps her neck, and then she comes back to life, and then it's a 3-on-1 because they can't beat her apparently because she's too powerful. You know, Starlight, the more I see of her, she she has the crappiest stupid power. Like, her power is basically siphoning or taking electricity and then shooting it. Well, this is the only time I've seen it work decently, and even then it's just, I don't know, it's just, what they should have done is had Starlight focusing on just draining her electricity or her power from her and just weakening the hell out of her. But instead they have this, oh, look at us, we're powerful women, and all three of us, we're gonna kick the hell out of this lady and insult her and call her a Nazi bitch and all of this. And it just totally took away from Kimiko's story. Because her whole story this season was to get revenge on her own, and she didn't. It took all three of them to beat up on Stormfront, and then in the end, Stormfront just flies away. She just takes off. So, we're back at the cabin, and Butcher has just slaughtered the hell out of all those Vought security guys. They wouldn't tell him anything, so he just killed them all. Stormfront cuts off once again Becca and the Butcher and the kid, and she shocks the hell out of Butcher and knocks him on the ground. So Becca somehow gets a knife into Stormfront's eye. Now, for the life of me, do not understand how Stormfront can take point-blank machine gun rounds, lightning from, well, not lightning, but those, whatever Starlight shoots at her, it looks like electricity. I mean, it's just stupid how a knife, how can a knife do this to Stormfront, but a handgun and machine guns don't do anything? It's like, what, they didn't make Stormfront knife proof or something? I mean, this is just stupid. I mean, that whole thing, I mean, come on, man. You got heroes being hit by RPGs and all sorts of things, and a Walmart hunting knife in the eye can get Stormfront. I don't know, man. It's just stupid, this whole thing. So, here she is choking Becca, and Becca's about to die. I mean, Stormfront's just choking her, and this whole time, the Butcher is just shooting at her, hitting the hell out of her with a crowbar. I mean, he's just going to town on her. And none of that does anything. Apparently the Butcher needs a knife to do something to Stormfront. So the kid here, you can see he's finally realized how to use his powers somewhat because he got real scared. So he uses his powers all right. I mean, he just turned Stormfront into Anakin Skywalker. I mean, she's toast unless they unless they turn her into a female Darth Vader or something. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there, but that's what it looks like. They just totally ripped off Star Wars. I mean, her right arm, her legs, it's just like Star Wars. You can see this. Tell me this isn't a ripoff of Revenge of the Sith. So they're trying to say that Anakin was a Nazi. So, I mean, you tell me, I don't know. So, unfortunately, the side effect from the kid killing Stormfront is he shot a laser, I guess it looks like through her neck, or it hit her partially or something, and hit some artery or something, and That's the end of her. She got it. You know, I'm quite surprised that she lived this long, actually, because I thought for sure she was gonna die on that episode where uh, Homelander and Stormfront go to the house and they're playing mommy and daddy with her and all this, and she was a third wheel, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be surprised if she survives this. Well, she made it this far. I'll give her that. So, Homelander finally comes in and he finds where they are and he sees Stormfront turned into Anakin Skywalker and he's like, come to me, you're my son and why did you kill Stormfront and you little shit and all this and the Butcher's like, he's not going anywhere, he's staying with me and the Butcher's just laughing and he's like, well, what are you gonna do to me? You can't do anything and it's like, fine, have it your way and he goes to kill the Butcher. And then here's Maeve that comes out of nowhere. And guess what she has? Here's the video. So here's where we begin the cucking of Homelander. Homelander is now a complete cuck. So she's telling him, you're going to let these people go. You're going to bring Starlight back in and you're going to tell everybody that she didn't do anything and you're going to leave me and my lover alone and you're going to be our cuck now or I'm going to show everybody this and if you don't like it, tough crap. And so here we have Homelander just totally cucked, man. I mean, he's just neutered here. So I don't know how next season's going to be. I'm not terribly thrilled about this cucking of Homelander because Homelander is what makes the show. They don't seem to understand that. I mean, Homelander is the funniest person on here. He's the best person on here. He's the biggest a-hole on here. And I just enjoy watching him be a total prick to people. It's just the funniest thing. And they totally cucked him now. So here we are, cucked Homelander at this news conference. And he's telling them about, oh, how awesome Maeve is and how awesome Starlight is. And I'm not sure if Stormfront is dead. They said she's confined somewhere. And they don't say if she's dead or not. So if Stormfront's still alive, I mean, I'm assuming they're going to turn her into a female Darth Vader or what, I don't know. Maybe her legs and arms will grow back and she'll go back to normal. Maybe that's her power. I don't know. They don't tell you on here, so who knows? And yeah, I know I should read the comics, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So, here we are with Homelander, who's lost his son, lost his balls, and lost his mind, and just totally cucked. So, no more funny Homelander, or... I mean, I don't really know what they're going to do with him next season. He can't be himself. What's he going to do? I mean, is Maeve going to be telling him, giving him orders, or... I mean, how far is this cucking going to go? It's just stupid. They just totally cucked him, man. I mean, it's just... So, here we are with the the Scientology idiots, and they're telling him that he's telling them that they were able to get some of you back into the 7, and then he tells A-Train that we got you in, but we couldn't get you back in the Deep, and the Deep's like, screw you, and all of this, and F Fresca, I hate Fresca, and you gave me a wife that gives crappy BJs, and you told me I'd be back in the 7 and all this, and then he's like, oh, I'm afraid you're going to have to leave because you're a toxic person and all of this, and then the Deep just, he just leaves, and A-Train's like, see ya, I'm out of here, I'm back in the 7 and all this. So, Butcher gave his kid to the CIA lady, and she's supposedly going to take care of him, which I don't think it's going to end well for this kid. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think it would have been better if the Butcher had stayed with the kid, because then he could have raised him, but then the Butcher's like, oh, don't be a cunt like me, and I'm a piece of crap and all this, and you don't want me as a dad, and da-da-da, and he gives him Becca's locket and says, now your mom will be with you always, and that's it. The kid is sent off with the CIA lady, and then she's telling the Butcher that, hey, they're going to start up an anti-soup thing, or a watch party, I guess, to basically what the boys are already doing, but a legal version of it, and they'll get full funding and all of this, and he just walks off. So I don't know if he's done with the boys or what exactly, I don't know. So here's the Scientology guy, or L. Ron Hubbard, or David Miscavige, mind you, that, as you can see, his head is popped, and he's on the phone with the AOC lady before this, and they're trying to get tax exemption and all of this stuff, and then his head explodes. And guess what the big reveal is, who the head popper is? AOC. That's right. AOC here is the head popper. So she's got supervillain powers, or superpowered, or whatever. She's got the ability to pop heads somehow, so that's basically the end of this season. The only other thing that happens after this is some stupid thing where Huey's trying to get a job working for her, and I don't know. Season 3 I don't think is going to be very good. You got Homelander cucked to hell. I mean, I just don't know what they're going to do with Homelander. The Butcher apparently is, I don't know, he's just left. And now you got AOC here, who's, I guess this next season's going to be her rise to power, or I don't know. But this season I was not terribly impressed with. I did not care for it very much. It just wasn't as great. The first season was the best. But that's it. That's all that happens. So that's the end of season 2. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.